Yes. So hello everybody. I hope I'm audible. Taha, you could confirm I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. So first of all, I thank Taha and the entire Pune branch of Picasa because this is a very good initiative that we have started at the branch level. Because I remember 7, 8 months ago me being on the other side and trying to understand from a lot of people what like industrial training अगर करनी है तो what are these profiles? How can we do? Because it's a huge decision. You just cannot skip on तुम कहाँ से articleship कर रहे हो and you just go and कि नहीं मुझे industrial training करना है. So it's very necessary to have this clarity कि what profile am I choosing and where do I want to go. So yes, great initiative, guys. So if I start, how did I end up landing in Edelweiss? So the first question would be, why did I want to get into this role? So with my 18 months of articleship at EY, I was in statutory audit. So one thing I realized कि मुझे after qualifying, I did not want to do audit. So that was just one thought which had started getting seats in my mind कि मुझे नहीं करना है audit in my after qualifying. So that was when I think it was February and I started reading about a lot of things. See what are the other profiles I can go into. And I had quite a few friends who were there to help me. They were mostly CFAs or MBAs who had some idea about this profile. And that was the time when I was doing SSM lectures and also I got to know that yeah, this is an interesting field. This is something I might want to do and then we can just start exploring कि इसमें क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. So then I started doing some random courses and all, which was like they do sound very fancy, but when I was doing, I realized कि अगर नहीं भी किया होता तो इतना कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. So all of us have this thing कि I want to do something and I want to do this. So this was how it started, and then I spoke to a lot of people over LinkedIn about what the actual, what are the profiles that can be offered. So if we look at it, we have a broad category that comes under valuation. And this valuation is further split up into mergers and acquisitions. इसमें तुम जा सकते हो. Then it can be investment banking, it can be equity research and so on. So then it was me, I had categorized, yeah, I have to go in equity research. So when I come to the topic equity research, so what is basically equity research? So it can be under two things. One is that you do financial modeling and valuation, and the other part of this is report writing. So I have some kind of inclination towards writing, and I like writing a lot. So that was even a thing that helped me. Yes, I can be into this role, and this would help me in future. So when we look about my role at Edelweiss, so from now I'll be using Nuvama because Edelweiss has recently changed its name to Nuvama. So what I do on a day-to-day basis is, so basically I am under a specific sector. So the entire industry, if you look at all the listed companies, it's basically split up into a lot of sectors. We can say we have FMCG, we have pharma, auto, specialty chemicals, and all of those. So among all of that, I am in the FMCG and the media sector. So in this, we have a list of stocks that are covered. So there can be like 20 to 25 listed companies which are covered in my sector basically. So on a day-to-day basis, we keep talking to the management of these companies to understand what is actually happening in the business. Any kind of any kind of business change that they're doing some kind of acquisition, launching some new products and all of those. So we are in touch with that now, the management of the respective company to know exactly what is happening in the company. How does that help us is all these discussions help us to build estimations in a model, which is basically valuation. So it helps us build estimates, and then on that basis, we give recommendations to our clients. So now when I say clients, who are our clients? So basically the companies, the institutions, because we call this as institutional equities. So all the institutions who are, you can say mutual fund companies, you can say insurance companies, the ones who have funds with them and they want to invest it somewhere. So those are prospective clients and we keep talking to them on a regular basis. We provide all the reports and all to us, and basis all of this information, we keep writing reports on a periodical basis on a regular interval about the company. So if anything new happens in the company, we come up with a report and then it helps the investors to know whether they should be buying the stock or selling the stock or etc. And apart from that, what we do is the quarterly results that come out. So that is the crucial period for any listed company. So even on the basis of that, we keep on writing, we keep on giving recommendations to the analyst. I think I did not get into very technical terms, but so that was about it. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can.
Yeah, question answer session we will take afterwards, like after everything is done. So why you chose just Edelweiss? Like that was the question. Along with your role, so you answered the role one, but why you chose only Edelweiss?
So actually, when I started applying, so my major focus was on all these capital companies. Like I applied to all the companies where institutional equity is a major role. So then, basis my interviews and in the interviews also, you get to know which sector is going to be assigned to you. So during my audit periods also, I had done audit majorly of the FMCG kind of companies. And here at Edelweiss, I was given a role in the FMCG sector only, the consumer sector only. So I thought that was something I could easily link on, and the learning that I had been carried from audit, I thought I could, turn it into the role which is actually exciting.
Okay, thank you. So to summarize what Harshita said, like her role is in equity research. So what is equity research is generally like researching about various companies, taking about data and predicting about what will be their future implications on their stock prices and preparing a report based on it, right? So for this, what they do, they will have a discussions with management. They will go like, what do you think? What are how is the pharma sector doing? For example, this is winter, so how do you think this product sales will shoot up or it will go down? And based on this discussion, they apply their modeling part and they come up with some estimates like for like you should buy or not after 6 months. What will be the estimate of the share price and all? Like it is one of the part of equity research. So am I right, Harshita?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, thank you, Ashita. So now we could go with Deven Lunkad. He will be guiding about his role and why he choose Credit Suisse.
Hey, hi Taha. Welcome everyone, and thank you to Taha and Pune Vikasa for organizing this wonderful seminar. And as even Harshita also mentioned that when we were looking for the training, we were not having such platform or such people to actually listen to. But the one who are attending over here has really great opportunity. You can leverage it to very great extent. And yeah, of course. So coming to my role, yeah, I would also say that I was also done with the auditing part. I did auditing, bank audits, and all this stuffs in the one of the most reputed firm in Pune. But I thought it was going somewhere very monotonous. I was not really, getting that kick. I mean, it was just. What I can say is getting monotonous day by day. I was not really enjoying what I was doing. So I took that shift that I don't want to do this thing for now. Maybe we can come back over here later sometime. But currently I don't want to do this. And I came to believe this thought that articleship I think is all about experiencing. The more work experience you gain, the more fields you explore, then only you can get the clarity of what you actually want to do. So this was the thought of me going to the option of industrial training. So yeah, after where becoming eligible, after 18 months you become eligible for industrial training. So I I had this thought nearby 1 year after completion of 1 year only, that I want to go for industrial training. I want to explore something different, which is something unorthodox role, um, which CA firms basically would not offer, but it is available in the industries. So I was looking for such kind of things. And yeah, I started this search for industrial training somewhere around June, let's say June or July somewhere. And yeah, then of course, from where did I started, it was all about going through referrals, LinkedIn, or even applying from career portal of ICI, or any any searching for any of the referral, or anyone who can just help it over there. So I was looking for the people. I was meeting lots of people, sending lots of connection requests, reaching out to lots of people. But I would say it didn't really help. But yeah, LinkedIn actually helped me. So I applied over LinkedIn also. So I got to know about the vacancy about from Credit Suisse on LinkedIn only. So I applied from LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, as well as they have their career portal, so where they sort of all the vacancies and openings are available over there, posted over there. So I applied through LinkedIn and also career portal. I don't know from where did I selected. I guess it's merged at the on central level. It's merged only, but I don't know where I got selected. But yeah, then they shortlisted me. And the role, the day when I read the job description, I must say I was really fascinated about my role, because it was something unorthodox for CA. That's the same thing which I was looking for. because I didn't wanted to do this typical, auditing kind of things. So when I read the job description, it was all about technologies. It was I'm basically in the innovation department in Credit Suisse. So when I read the job description, I was really impressed. And technology is something which I have always, look forward. It is something which really interests me, and it was something which I thought will be, of course, it will be challenging, but it is something I think. Technology is something which is always forever changing, and technology is something which doesn't happen to a single industry. It happens to all of the that change happens to all the industries. It's not any industry specific, but every industry has to surrender to adapt to the technology change, not surrender but adapt to the technology change. So I found a job description very attractive. So I prepared. I just as I naturally had interest in technology. So I before appearing for the interviews, I even researched few of the things. How the it's all about automation, innovation. So how the things work over there and those things. So which really helped me during my interviews also. And yeah, then I the yeah then interview pretty went well. So it was interview was also about more about not only this C aspect, what we do in accounting and auditing firms, but it was more about technological aspect. So the recent industry practices, or the let's say how well versed are you with PowerPoint and Excel. So this sort of things, which is unorthodox for the let's say VCA people. So yeah, and as I said, I thoroughly researched about the job description. So I was pretty much able to answer those questions, and yeah, then I got selected. And yeah, it's going well as of now. And the what work I do is basically it's the innovation department in Credit Suisse. So this department mainly works in automating the things, how the human efforts can be saved. That is the main vision of this department, that how to reduce more and more human efforts. So there are various tools developed. They are developing various tools where the human efforts can be reduced. So in this, what is my part? So first I'll say that in the whole department, we are having like a team of around 10 to 12 people, and mostly everyone is from IIT or technical background, because of course the department is innovation. And of course, I mean, how can obviously I cannot help much in the technological part. So all the people are the IIT graduates, or let's say BITS Pilani graduates or interns from over there. So these are the people I am dealing with right now. And the department has a one CA, and I work under her. So basically two CA people are only in this department. So what CA does over here is the part of budgeting and forecasting. So the funds are allocated to the department. So whether and various projects are also simultaneously being developed in the department. So the part of a CA intern or CA person comes over here is that to allocate the budgets to respective projects, and to track whether those budgets are going well on the track. So this is the one aspect of the part that mostly covers financial planning and analysis. So we draft the budgets, we monitor the budgets, and we report to the leadership about the variances or any change in the projects. So that is one aspect. And second aspect I would say is that it is, as I said, it is innovation department. So it is more about um, to, as I said, to reduce the human efforts. So the projects are, various projects are happening regarding to achieve that goal. So what CA intern does over here is that there are some of the things that very basic for the IIT people, but not for the people with our background, accounting and auditing background. So this kind of stuff come with me. So the CA people over here handle this kind of stuff. So it's basically it's a lot of learning thing over here for me right now. And even the as I mentioned, the CA under whom I work. So she's also learning basically. I mean, of course she also has the accounting auditing background. She's also new in this department. So this is financial planning and analysis is one aspect. The second aspect comes over here. So recently I developed a SharePoint nothing but basically you can say a website, a synonym name you can say is the website. So recently I was given a project of developing a SharePoint, for which I worked for around 1 to 1.5 months. So that also gave me a lot of learning. And yeah, so I can say it's going well, and it is a thing which is giving more exposure to the technological aspects, technological aspects developing in the industry. Yeah, so that's it from my side. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Yeah. So, yeah, so to summarize what Deven said, he is in innovation department. Like, if we could rename it, it is like fintech department, financial technology, a synonymous word. So, in this department, there are two parts. One is FP&A, that is financial planning analysis. So they prepare budgets about like which department, what funds to allocate, and that they monitor those. And second one is regarding planning and designing things like how can things be automated. Okay, so they work on these both aspects. Am I right, Devin?
Yeah, perfect, sir, perfect.
Yeah. So this is how this was a summarized version of what Devin said. We can move to next speaker. It is Dev. He is working in Hindware.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing exceptionally well. Well, Taha introduced the panel already, so no need to separately introduce myself. I am speedily going to the subject matter. So basically, I'm going to explain you, or rather, I say I am going to answer the three questions which were came in my mind when I was thinking for the industrial training before 5 months. So which are that three questions? So first of all, why, how, and what? So what is this? I tell you. Why we have to choose the industrial training, and why I choose the Hindware Limited as my career option. Second, how we can get such opportunity through different sources. And third one is what's the role profile in which I am currently working. So first question is why we have to choose the industrial training. So I bifurcated the answer in the three parameters. First is the future opportunities. If we think from the perspective of the company, then more than 50 to 60% of the company hire the intern as their employee. Uh, so questions come why they hire us as a CA fresher. So the first answer is the training. We work in the company for almost 18 months. So suppose say one year, 12 months, 16 months, or 18 months. So the training cost which is saved by the company, that is the obviously. So and second is the timing difference. If we go in a new organization, then for understanding the entity, for understanding the organization, to understand the process, we have to give at least 2 to 3 months for that. And if they hire us, then that time is also saved by the company. So future opportunities are very much if we choose industrial training rather than doing the articleship for whole the 3 years. The second thing is the competitive advantage. How we can get the competitive advantage? So think from the perspective of the interviewer. If you are the interviewer and three candidates among you sitting, first candidate is doing the industrial training in XYZ company, second and third is doing the articleship from a very renowned firm. They all are equal in communication skills, they all are equal in skill. But if we talk about the little bit exposure of the role, for example, the interview is conducting for the finance role, and three candidates are doing. So I says the first is the industrial training, second and third is the articleship training in the from a very renowned firm. Three of them are same, almost same at the all the levels, but the experience, the corporate environment which the one get is the first candidate, because he get the corporate environment from the industrial training which he was working from last 1.5 years. So this is the first question which I should summarize, that why should we choose the industrial training. I at the end I say that why I choose the Hindware. The second is how we can get such opportunities. So Deven and Harshita already answered this question, that why we should, how we can connect, or how we can get such opportunities. So Deven already tell and Harshita already tell that LinkedIn and career portal. This is the best possible source for us to connect or to get such opportunity. So guys, after this session, I will request you, if you are not creating your profile of LinkedIn, then you must have to first you create your LinkedIn profile and update on the regular basis. And the third, and when which you are more interesting, then what's the role profile of mine in which I am currently working. So I'm currently working in Hindware Limited, uh, in the forensic and internal audit department. The main point is the forensic audit. So if we think that CA firm allows forensic auditors, uh, as an intern, CA firm allows us to do the forensic audit. The question is yes, but not probably more than 90% of the CA firm are not allowed to do as an intern for the profile of the forensic audit. Forensic audit is a very wide term. I am working in the part of the fraud investigation and detection of the entity. The one of the emerging area of the forensic audit is the fraud investigation. So what's the role profile of us in this entity? And so financial due diligence, financial scrutinies, profile checking, preparation of DAC for the MD, preparation of DAC for the CEO, preparation of DAC for the chairperson. So whether I say preparation of DAC for the top management, that how the fraud is going to happen in the company and how we can detect them, and whole the process we have to mention in the report. Some of the other matters we studies the trend analysis in the costing. So we apply here also in forensic also we apply the trend analysis. If we are going to investigate some particular thing, one business from one vendor, so we think हम 2011 से उसके साथ ट्रांजेक्शन कर रहे हैं, अभी 2023 हुआ. So how much the quantum of the business and fraud is detected in 2022? So how much the more quantum in 2022? So we analyze that this much of trend they followed by the vendor and the employees who are involved in that fraud. So that investigation part and all like that. So this is all about particular different thing than the CA field. Uh, all the CAs are mainly in the finance field, internal audit field, equity research, different things. But this is something different which I wanted to do, because ultimate my before joining CA, I also want to join LLB, and I should pursue LLB after completion of my CA. So this is all mostly related with that also. So I would choose this profile. Now I came to question that why should I join Hindware only, not other company? So if I talk about the same, so forensic audit, I earlier said that not given by many companies to any intern. I got the offer letters from various companies, different companies from for various roles like finance role, internal audit. One is the investment banking also. But at the end, I wanted to do the forensic audit, which I really like to do, because in my all the tenure I covered the internal audit, and through internal audit I am going to understand that yes, I am going my interest area is internal audit, but beyond the internal audit there is one scope also, and that is forensic audit. So I choose the Hindware because Hindware offers me the role which I wanted to do. So I hope I finally complete the information which I want to give you. So yeah, any question then you can ask me in question answer round. Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks, Dev. In Hindware, Dev is in forensic audit role. So his role is like what we do in audit is just matlab, it is generally like for reporting purpose, for compliance purpose. We generally don't go that deep, or we generally don't dig that much. Like as we already read in audit that an auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. So what he does in forensic audit, he digs, he analyzes different trends, analyzes various patterns, and then based on it, based on what a normal man prudence, he tries to find his intention, like his preconceived notion is about like this can be some fraudulent transaction. While in stat audit or in internal audit, our preconceived notions are different. We don't assume that the client is fraudulent unless and until they have some previous history of the same. Okay, so am I right, Dev? Was it or I missed
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
Oh, it's fair enough.
So thanks. So last and the enthusiastic speaker we have is Aashika Jain. She will be explaining her role and profile in Godrej. So yes, Aashika, you can go.
Thank you. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
As Taha has mentioned earlier in the introduction, I was in KPMG in the statutory audit department. So as soon as I started with audit, I knew for a fact that I wanted to, gain some industry experience. I had spoken to a lot of people who were in audit, and I had understood that audit is a very good base to understand the industry, to understand the different processes and everything. So that is why I chose audit initially. And as everybody knows, the Big Four culture, we have a lot of people here. So all of us were in the same boat that it ended up being too monotonous. And so I had decided to do industrial training since the day one of my articleship that is there. With the question that actually Dev answered as to why, he already answered why you should do industrial training and how you can get roles. So when I was deciding which role I wanted to do, I actually followed the deletion method. Like I was very sure that I did not want to get into investment banking roles. And being a statutory auditor, I had seen the client, I had faced clients. So it was very intriguing for me to to get to know the opposite side, because we spend a lot of time with the clients. So the process that they used to follow, because when you go as auditors, they don't show the entire picture to you. What happens in the back doors is always in the back doors. So it was always fascinating for me to get to know that what is the actual role that a finance department does. It's a very cliche role for CAs, that's true. um, Coming to my role in Godrej, in the Pune office, we have four departments roughly. So there's payables, majorly receivables, sales, and purchase. So these are the four main buckets that every finance department has. So luckily, me being one of the first interns in the Pune office, I don't have a very strict role or a very strict profile. I'm getting an exposure in all of these different departments. So I've actually just joined a month back. So I'll just give you an experience, a brief about my experience in the last 1 month. So because it's March ending is almost here. So as of now, we're working on budget coming year. That is one of the major reasons. Then another aspect that we're working on is MIS. So because the regional office, we collate the data for that region and we pass it on to the head office, which again collates the data and they face the auditors. So that is another thing that I have been working on. Then one major area that I worked on was dispute settlements. So when it comes to receivables, you have a lot of um, you know clients and customers who've not paid their who've not paid for a very long time. So they have an entire internal process wherein they decide and they make legal formats for it. And I'm still trying to understand the entire process, but what I've understood is that it's a very different world in the industry, and until and unless you enter the industry, you will never understand really how it is there. That's all.
Yeah. So thanks, Aashika. So to summarize, there are generally various departments in Pune office, and she is one of the interns. So there is no strict role, but to broadly speaking, payables, receivables, and treasury are some of the roles which she is working. So it is a little inclined towards reporting various things. Then to management and analyzing some things. It is like a extended version of reporting, which also involves some analytical part as well. Am I right, Ashika?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So next round we can have is like interview stage preparation. Like what were the stages of interview and what were the questions asked, and are some of the questions asked from CA final syllabus? Like for example, if you are going for reporting, it might be FR. If you are going for investment banking or something, it might be, let's say, SFM. So we can start with Harshita. Yeah.
So, if I have to start honestly, so when I started applying for all of these profiles, so when I came across Edelweiss, there was no actual vacancy at the time for industrial trading. But I was very sure that I had to go, because when I talk about equity research, there were not much options in Pune and also I was very sure I had to move to Pune and some of the options over there. So because I wanted to go, what I understood was these companies, they take MBA interns for 3 months or anybody who has done CFA level 1 or level 2. And I was none of those, but I had to go there. So when I doing some random courses and also that time I had prepared models and because मैंने वो course कर लिया था just to check out what I have learned on it, I had started preparing my own financial models. So I had to go for that profile. So I just stalked random people on LinkedIn and I came across the person who was the head of research at Edelweiss and I sent those models to him explaining everything कि नहीं I want to get into this role and a long like I actually tried to make him understand how important this role is for me and I was not expecting they would reply. So this I had done for 2 3 companies who were offering equity research roles. So then luckily I got a response from it, but I got it after like 1.5 months or something. And then my interviews were scheduled and all. So the first round that I had was with the basically the analyst under the sector where they wanted to hire me. So that was obviously the FMCG sector. So then my interview was obviously this field is more towards the financial management part. So there were questions from the from what we study in SFM, not very theoretical ones, but yes, the financial ratios, the key ratios that you would look if you want to invest in any company. Those were the few questions, and this was a very interesting thing. How I decided I wanted to be there was the interview question that he asked. He told you have some 30 seconds. You can think in your mind and you have to pitch a stock to me. So that was like बहुत fascinating लगा because nobody you would not expect anybody to ask you such a question in an interview. So when he asked me about that, so I used to follow Rachna Ranade ma'am on YouTube and I used to watch a lot of her videos. And I knew how she spoke and what was her tone of saying things. So I acted a bit smart. I did not pitch any stock over there. I just told them how would I go if I want to. So I went on a broad level कि economy देखोगे फिर industry पे आओगे, then you come to the company and the key ratios, cash flows and all of those. So I think that answer really worked well for me during the interview and I gave a lamba chauda answer. Like for 4 5 minutes I kept speaking on that question only. So yes, that was the major question which was very interesting. And another thing that they asked me was, if you have $1 million with you right now, what are you going to do with it? So was prepared on my part majorly on the financial aspects, the ratios and all, and how are you going to analyze the balance sheet and stuff. But these questions were something I was not really expecting. So that was another question. And there were again basic questions regarding to the like what do you know about the sector, like how do listed companies function and all. And one more thing that we do here is we are in regular touch with the management and all. So my second round of interview, it was with the HR. Even though it was with the HR, it was designed in a manner that she wanted to check my communication skills. She actually wanted to see how can I handle pressure and how can I talk to people on a regular basis. So my HR round was basically more difficult than the technical round which I had. So she had a lot of questions that she was bombarding me with questions just to check if I can handle the pressure, if I'm good at communicating with the people, because when you're talking to MDs and CEOs of these big listed companies, you cannot go all blankly, wait, I'm pressure, I want some time to think about it. So that was the HR interview that I had. And after that, they just communicated to me, like, there were only 2 rounds, I think, yeah, so nothing major on that.
Okay, thanks, Harshita. So generally 2 rounds, I guess. One is technical and one is HR, right?
Yeah.
and there were some questions relating to current market conditions and how you will analyze them. Which stock will you select and all.
Yes.
Okay,
And they even
yeah.
asked something revolving around the current economic environment. I think during that time there was something happening around the dairy prices, milk prices, and also yeah, something from the current affairs part as
Okay, thanks. So we can move on with Deven. Deven, you can start.
Hey, hi everyone. So beginning with my interview process, so I had three rounds of interview. Credits with that three rounds of interview. So first was of course the one with currently I am extensively working with, the one who's a CA. So I was not aware firstly that she was CA. I was just aware that she's some vice president taking my interview. So as I had already read the job description well, and I mean I took that thing very seriously about job description because it was something like I was aware that I'm not going to be asked about accounting की entry pass करके दिखाओ या auditing standard बता के दिखाओ क्योंकि clearly job description didn't had that requirement. So so obviously, so I mostly like I prepared based on job description. So it is about it was all about technology and changes in technology, what department it works in, and what will be my primary role over there. So I like prepared well on that. So but obviously before appearing for any interview we have that thing like what I mean how it will go, and that pre-interview anxieties. So obviously I'm not the any exception to it. I also gone through that, but it was pretty clear that this is something exciting, and the only thing I focused was whatever the case may be, or whatever the maybe the answer, what I answer may be correct or not, but I don't want to lose my confidence. I purely want to play about how I'm going to present myself, how will my confidence. So that was the thing I thoroughly kept in my mind. And then yeah, so the first round began, and it went pretty cool. She just asked me about walk me through their resume. So resume is like something which you must really, everyone must focus on. That resume is I mean any interviewer don't know you, and they know you only based on your resume. Your resume is your only identity. So that is something you must be very prepared of. And so yeah, so I just walked her through my resume about the work which I have already done in the previous firms, and my area of interest, my hobbies, what I like to do. And yeah, so it was first was just a walkthrough, and then she like went into questions like what do you do beyond the this CA curriculum and all those stuff. What do you know about technology? So even I mean, so I was proactive in answering her question. So I also added my few points on my take on the technology, or how I think about the world is how the world is adapting about technology. So I added a few of my points on that, and then yeah, so that first round went really well, and then she was like and then it was just simple that once she got the confidence that I was able to answer her question, then she just asked me about my primary responsibility, or what the department does, and yeah, basic things. What are the current numbers of credit Suisse, like how the company is heading towards, and what are the company's approach towards things. So yeah, at that time here I would say here this was the area where I was unprepared. So she directly asked me about the financial numbers, which I had not read, and that was the thing that she mentioned at the end of the interview, that this is something before appearing for any interview, you must be knowing that what are the current financial numbers of any company. So that was the only thing which I was not able to answer. But yeah, it is you can take this as a lesson that appearing for any interviews, you must know the numbers of the company. So that was the thing. And then yeah, then it was pretty cool. Then she explained about the role profile, what the department does, and how the how the internship period will be there, and how what are the areas which I'm going to work, what she works, and how we need to manage stuff. So it was pretty. It went around 30 to 40 minutes. And yeah, so this was our first round. And I was honestly speaking, I was the way it went and smoothly. I was pretty much knowing that I was having large number of probability that I will get selected over here. So as you expected, I got selected. I was promoted to second round of the interview. So second round was with the person. Of course, I was not doing this before the interview. After the interview, I got to know that he was IITian. He was also VP over there, but he was an IIT graduate. He didn't have any CA background. So but I was not aware of it, of course. So and the way the first round went, I was sure that it will be not be this difficult. I mean, it was about technology and also, so I didn't really prepared on it. But yeah, that was the round which really tested my patience, I must say. So he basically went into a lot of details, like lot of details. He was in totally mood to grill me. So he asked questions like about of course the department technology. So he was very he was picking my word to word, what I'm saying, how I'm approaching towards it. So he was very intricate in his details. So he asked me questions like tell me about the VLOOKUP XLOOKUP formula. Is I mean pretty much, I mean, advanced Excel question, advanced Excel, advanced PPTs questions. So how well are you with? So can this data be transferred to that PPT, and how will you do that? So it was very advanced, advanced sort of question, which which I can say, I mean, we PPT, so we are not having that much exposure, but Excel pretty much we have exposure in during our leadership period. But the way he was asking, it was, I mean, I have not worked on those things, so I was just knowing the basic of it. So I was able to answer the basics, but after that I clearly said I'm not aware. I'm sorry. So yeah, that round I can say it went around accuracy of, let's say, 70%. I was able to answer, but 20-30% it was like though, I mean, it was so advanced level, so I was not able to to exactly answer that. But I was confident enough ki, I don't know, I'm saying I don't know. It was that simple. So yeah, then it went well. I mean, I was afraid. That whether, I mean, comparing to the first round, second round was bit, I can say, a bit tougher. But so I was like, whether they'll select me or not, or I mean, what will happen? But yeah, fortunately, I received the call from HR after 2-3 days, let's say. And then it was she told that I have also passed that round. And after that, it was third round, which was basically HR round. So that is nothing. That is nothing. But it is only, it was on phone only. So it was very simple. Like I mean, tell me about yourself, and what are your aspirations, what are your and basic questions. I mean, not a much deal to tackle it. So it was all about assessing how your personality is, how the kind of person you are. So yeah, so it also went well. And after about within a week, I received a call from HR that okay, you have cleared all 3 rounds, and this is your tentative date of joining. You can join by this date. So do you have any questions about it? And yeah, that's how I got selected over there.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Deven.
Yeah.
I would request our next speaker, that is Dev, to guide about his interview process, and I would request to keep it a little crisp so that it will be great.
Yeah. So if I talk about the interview process, first of all, I would like to tell you one thing that when the interview word came, we all are scared, but that's the not case because interviewer wants you to join the company. आपसे ज्यादा उसको होता है कि आप कंपनी ज्वाइन करिए, right? Because he's searching for the best candidate among the others and like that. But first thing that we have to understand कि हमें डरना नहीं है बिल्कुल भी. We don't have to scare. Okay. So if I talk about my interview process, so basically there are three rounds: HR round, technical round, and the manager round. The HR round is like the basic, tell me about yourself, hobbies, strength and weaknesses, and all like that. The second, the technical round. In the technical round, they ask more about the job description, job profile, which they are offering, because they given in the mail on mail also that at this point you have to do the work with us in day-to-day basis. So JD, I would say like job description. The questions, most of the questions are come from the job description only. The second is the software that which you are using in your articleship tenure. The SAP, ERP, Tally, like that software basis like T codes, how to extract the data from the different sources like that. And third one is the experience. What's your articleship experience? The main questions came from the articleship experience only, because they know you are the intern and they don't expect much from you, but at least a basic knowledge of what you are working in the articleship, and what's your key observations, what are the difficulties you found in your articleship tenure. So this type of questions they ask in the technical round, that is SAP related, job description related, and some other like how to detect the fraud and like that. So basically that are all the job description related questions. The third round is the manager round, and in the manager round, the whole of the questions, nothing, only 10 to 15 minutes of manager round is have हुआ था मेरे साथ. And in that only the experience related question, no faltu question like tell me about yourself, no, just experience related question, that how you can tackle such a situation. They give the case study and give the different options that how you tackle this situation and all like that. So in interview round, HR, technical and manager, so this three round I हमने दिया था जब हुआ था. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dev. The next speaker is Aashika Jain. You can start and you can guide us about your interview process and experience.
Yes. So I think among all of the others, I have had the shortest interview of my life with Godrej. I only had one round in my interview. So it was when I was going to get my interview the next day, I actually asked a friend of mine that what can I prepare for the interview, and he told me that you should just look up about MIS. So because my role is moreover about internal reporting than actual financial reporting, so none of our indices or anything or any knowledge of FR was not going to be helpful for me in my interview. So in my interview, my manager majorly focused on my work experience, that he wanted to know how my work experience with KPMG was, what all I have done and how I have worked. And so they just wanted to know about my knowledge of a particular industry. Because I was working with KPMG, I had an industry experience with automobile. So they were very interested in knowing that, how you focused on what areas and all of that. So it would like, I don't think they asked me any technical related questions. But they were majorly focused on my CV, my resume, my work experience. Yeah, that's about it. That was all.
Yeah, thanks, Ashika. So now we will have a rapid fire round. In this, like I will ask some questions, which you all will be answering one by one. And if there are some questions which due to company policies or due to some NDAs which you have to sign, if you couldn't answer, you could just give a range. For example, let's say it is a working hours, so you could, if it is not allowed to disclose it, so you could just give a range. For example, 8 to 12 or 8 to 10 or like that. So yeah, so there are some questions which we'll be asking, and you have to give answers in one line only. So the first question is, what is the stipend? Stipend क्या है भैया? पहले ये बताइए. So yeah, we can start with Harshita.
Again, the disclaimer that you started with, as per company policy, they're not asking it out. But I think it's pretty enough for you to sustain on your own in Mumbai.
Okay. Okay. Second one, Deven.
Yeah. It's as Harshita said, it is pretty much well to sustain, and probably the one of the highest in the industry, I can say. So yeah, pretty well.
Still, can you give us a range, Harshita and Deven both? Like, थोड़ा तो idea दे दो.
No, actually, we have signed this non-disclosure agreement, but yeah, I can say it's pretty much well in the range of somewhat nearby 4,000.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we can go with Dev.
So if I want to give the range, then the average stipend of the any industry is between 30 to 50. So between 30K to 50K you can get.
Yeah, and Ashika.
It's the same as Dave said.
Yeah. So generally, as far as matlab, I know, it is around 30 to 45K in matlab, firms like that provide roles of equity research and all. And for big firms like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, they have 50 to 70 somewhere around range. And other, like they already said, it is 30 to 40 or 45. Yeah. So the next question can be, what is the average working hours?
So for me, my day starts really early because it is dependent on the market hours. So I begin at 8 to 5 something. It extends on this side.
Okay, Deven.
Yeah, for me, it's the normal working hours. Let's say 10 to 6, 7 around max to max 7 p.m. 10 to 7.
Yeah, Dev.
Yeah, 9 hours a day. But if some reporting period and like that, so we can extend. But normally it's a 9 hours a day.
Okay, Ashika.
Uh, for me, it's a normal 10 to 6. During reportings and month ends, it stretches, but you can consider it to be a 10 to 6 job.
Okay. Next question is, do we get ample amount of time to study for CA final? And like, how is your work environment? How is your team? Are they supportive for the studies or what is the case? Like, we can start with Archita.
So this is the kind of a drawback that I face because my entire team either has MBAs or IIT people or CSA, so they're not much into the CA thing. But yeah, because my working hours are fixed, so I get time in the evening to study and all. And weekends also, I get all the weekends to study.
Yeah, Deven.
Yeah. It's pretty much same for me as well as Harshita said. It is we have the weekends compulsory off, and it's very in very exceptional circumstances that we extend the working hours. So after the working hours, after the work after completing the work, you can like anyways after 6 7 you can anyways give your time to study. So not a very much big deal. It depends upon you obviously. So yeah.
Yeah, Dev.
Yeah, if I talk about my in my company work culture regarding the study leaves, and so my reporting manager is so supportive for this study because all the fraternity is related to CA only. So they knows that the CA final is very important for all of us. So yeah, they supporting. But uh, in weekends we can manage the studies, and after coming from the industrial ring, like after 7 or after 8 you can do. So it's manageable.
Okay, Ashika.
So actually, I had this discussion with my manager. So 2 weeks after I started, I had actually, I sat down with him and I told him that this is generally the time that I have my lectures in the evening. So would it be possible for you to let me go, at 6:30 or 6 sharp, so that I reach on time to see my lectures. So my manager was pretty chill about it, and he's been supportive since we've had the talk. So I don't think you face a lot of issues when you're working in a finance department.
Okay. I hope all the answers given on camera are also, matlab, the case is same behind the curtain as well. Yeah. So the next question is, okay, what are departments other than your department in which we can pursue industrial training? For example, it can be different departments like for in trade sales can be FP&A or etc. So can you just guide us, Harshita?
So I think other departments of which I'm aware of, where I had applied was one of them was corporate strategy. So even yeah, that is a very good field to explore if you are not interested in core finance or what do you say, audit and tax thing. So corporate strategy is a very good profile. Investment banking, yes, it is good, but for trainees and all, I think they give you more of a back end role or a thing wherein that like it depends on your interest. If you all want that kind of exposure, it obviously gives you a brand. So that is even one thing. So yeah.
Yeah, Deven.
Yeah, others I can say for any investment bank or any multinational company or any multinational company we have these roles or in any company we have the department. So basically what roles are there? So I can say treasury roles or let's say internal audit roles. So yeah, basically these are more for the CA people. The roles which we have in any of the I mean the one which I have seen are more of reporting roles. So you can it depends from company to company obviously, but the primarily we have this auditing, treasury, internal audit departments, this kind of stuff, reporting roles. Yeah.
Okay, Dev.
Yeah. So apart from this department, there is one investor relations department also, the treasury department. So if you are interested in that role, then you can join.
Okay, Ashika.
So the roles that I know of, the normal internal audit department, then they have a corporate finance department where they hire, wherein you look after finalization of the financials and you assist in consolidation and all of that as well.
Okay. The next question which I will ask is like generally companies prefer you have GMCS and advanced ITT to be completed. So what are your views on it and what were your case while you joined this? Had you completed both of them? You completed any one of them, or and if not, then do these companies allow us to complete during our industrial training only? Yeah. So Arshita, you can start.
Yeah. So actually, I had not done any of my GMCS or ITT before I joined, but I would still say it is a very good practice to have already completed it because for me, obviously my managers were supportive, but for me it had become difficult to manage because my profile is more of the market hours. So it was I had to manage the entire day, went in the office and going to the ITT and stuff. So yeah, it's always good to do it fairly, but if you have not done, they allow you, but then you have to manage work accordingly.
Yeah, Deven.
Yeah, for me, I before joining for the industrial training, I was very clear to because what happens is this industry have this set of leaves policy, and you have to whatever your study leave or GMCS or any ITT, you have to complete in that leave. So anyways, it is if you do it in let's say that study within that leave, your studies are going to affect. So I have this clear thought that I want to complete all this GMC identity thing before I go for the industrial thing, so that the leaves which I get I can utilize for my studies. So yeah, before only joining itself, before any interviews, I had completed my advanced ITT and GMCS training and all. So yeah, so it is kind of very lucrative option to do that.
Yeah, Dev.
Yeah. In my case also, I completed my MCS and advanced ITT training before I joined the company. It is advisable to complete before you join because after that the study may little affected if you are going for the GMCS or advanced ITT. So yeah.
Yeah, Ashika.
So before my interview, I had finished my GMCS, but I had not completed my advanced ITT. Uh, the company had actually, told me that if you want a leave, they would reduce that number of days from my study leave, or they would recommend to do it during my study leave. So I opted for a solution wherein I took a break. I completed my advanced ITT and then I joined the company. So technically, I finished both of them before joining so that I can utilize my entire study leave for studying.
Okay. So just a counter question to Harshita. In your case, also was it the same? Like, do they reduce this GNCS or ITT from study leave, or will they allow? Like, you could just answer it.
So they would reduce it from my study leave.
Yeah. And Harshita, is it the same case for you?
Yeah, so they would allow us, but then again, you have to work. Like, you won't get a leave for GMCs and ITT. You have to work for the number of hours that you have to every day. You don't get it.
Okay. Um, Another question which I remember is, what are the future benefits? Um, like for example, in equity research, you may get a quite good exposure if you in future you go in IB. Like that, what will the current role help in your future aspirations? Like that is the main question.
Okay, so yeah, basically, as you said, for equity research, it's very beneficial for you to explore any other roles because you already know the company. Like, you get to know how the company operates inside out. So the thing is, after qualifying, if you want to go into any of these roles, one thing that might be required from you is you should have done CFA or some of these financial courses like MBA or CFA, which I did not see myself doing because CFA idea बहुत होता है. So that was my major thing. So after, so even if I wouldn't have done any levels of CF, it is going to help me. Like, I can get offers basis my experience. And like you said, for investment banking, we can go. We can even go for corporate strategies and all. And even if you want to go into the core investor relations role, so even that is open for you after that. So we could
Okay.
research.
Yeah. Deven.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, the kind of role which I'm working, it's more of technology driven. So currently, if you ask me honestly, I mean, I can't assess. I mean, how after the qualification it is going to help me. But yeah, definitely, depending on the performance, I would get. I can immediately join the same department as I'm doing where I'm doing the industrial training. So that is one advantage of being that. But looking at the technological side, as we say, I mean, obviously we are in the learning phase, so I'm not exactly aware how this technology will going to help me, but yeah, hopefully it would take to some good place only.
Yeah. Dev.
Yeah, to be honest, my working area is very core. So after becoming CA, I don't know the मतलब मुझे पता नहीं है, but yeah, this is emerging now. It's growing. So initially, we can get the good opportunities over there.
Okay.
So in my case, I'm actually directly working under the finance manager of the West region. So because I'm working directly under him, I've been involved in a lot of planning and budgeting and all of those files that are directly shared to the CEO or the CFO. And I've also been involved in various pricing strategies and everything. So what I have understood from working is every FMCG company follows a very similar pattern of reporting and anything. So my experience of industrial training in a particular FMCG company would help me to apply in the future to different companies, and of course Godrej would retain me after qualification as a senior exec. But also that the experience would also help me in applying in the future to any FMCG company because it's on a similar level.
Okay. So yeah, you touched a quite good point. Like, what is the post qualification benefit? Like for some, as you said, some companies will hire you. They prefer you other than outsiders in the same role if you want to join. Like they give you an offer. So that is my next question, starting from your Sita.
Yeah, so I think Nuvama quite well offers, like, after qualification, you mostly get the offer. Yes, like, I haven't seen any such instances because I haven't been trainees before. So maybe they offer.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, I mean, there are pretty much good roles in Credit Suisse as well. So I'm not sure whether yeah, there are very good roles. I mean, it depends from person to person what kind of work they enjoy. So it's a very I think it's a very subjective thing. So yeah, if you ask me personally whether I'll join there or not. So again it's subjective, and it would totally depend upon what kind of what kind of thing, what kind of career I'm planning post the qualification. So yeah, I would better answer that post that because I think I'm
No,
not in the right place to answer it.
yeah. Actually, the question was, okay, what opportunity do they offer? Like joining or
Yeah,
not, that
yeah.
is a later part. But what opportunity they offer you? Like they might have said something in the interview, like when we will hire you at some XX plus 10 amount, plus 10% as compared to outsiders, like that. For
So
example, what Big Fours do, for example, was what Big Fours do, they promote you at a level above. Then what outsiders come and they join. So in some KPMG and EY, what they do, they will directly promote you to senior rather than making you an executive. That is not the case with outsiders. Like if someone is qualified, if someone has an article from another firm, let's say XYZ firm, and then they join Big Four, they are generally made executives and not the and are not offered the senior positions. So that was a question. Like
no, so obviously, being worked over. Listen, what happens is, that of course, you have already done your training over there. You know about how the systems work, things work. So thinking from the point of view of the company, it is very viable option to retain you because now you know everything, and the cost which are involved in hiring new people. It takes a lot of time, resources, and things to again get on board new people and get them used to the things. So of course they offer better positions over there. So of course when you initially qualify, become CA, not of course you can go to the big hierarchy, but when it comes to Credit Suisse, I can say they offer you can you can be. I mean, it is from department to department. Things differs from department to department. But if I ask about my department, I think that the position which will be there for me will be AVP, Assistant Vice President. So yeah.
yeah, they
Yeah. If I talk about the same, so it depends on the case-to-case basis that they allows you for joining as a employee after qualification or not. But in my case, they probably get indirectly said me that they wanted to retain me as after qualification. But yeah, it depends on the company to company and their policies that they can retain or not. So
okay. Ashika has already answered that. Like I guess. If you
Yeah.
want to just expand or just elaborate what you said, you could.
No, actually, I mean, it's very simple that if a company has trained you for a particular amount of time, if they've invested a year in training you, uh, they would always try to retain you to, continue in the company instead of hiring somebody else. And unless and until your track record of the entire year is, been bad or something, I don't think they would, want to remove you from the company.
Okay. And last question is, what is the study leave we get?
Yes, so for me, it's like 4 to 5 months of study leave, which generally we don't get in industrial training. So yeah, that's a very good point that I have.
Yeah, Deven.
Yatha, obviously, as I said, I have signed that non-disclosure agreement. Pardon me for that. I can't, really disclose what is the exact study leave, but yeah, I can definitely say the range. It's pretty less in my case. So it comes about depending if I don't take any leaves during my initial training period. It comes it rounds up to about 2.55 months, not more than that.
Okay, Dev.
Yeah.
yeah, it depends on the company to company, but in my company, the average range is 2.5 months to 4 months maximum.
Okay, Aashika.
So I have roughly about 4 months of study leave.
Okay. So now we will be starting with question answer round of the audience. They have some questions. So one question is already answered by Harshita, I guess. Another question is, it is also dedicated directly to Harshita. It says, I'm a technical analyst of stock market, and he's also an intermediate student. So will they consider this as his work experience, or will this act as a lucrative point over the CV?
Yeah, so definitely you have this experience. So while the conversations you have with the interview, you can clearly, display your skills in that. It would actually help.
Okay. Uh, we have another question from Ayush. She's saying, what is the status of the duration of articleship? If we resign from articleship, complete the advanced ITT and GNCS, and then join industrial training after a month's break. I guess on it depends on company terms, but matlab, if you have good terms with them, you could join backdated back 30 days. But if you are joining from, like, if there is a 30 days gap, then I guess if two, like, the basic rule is if you complete 2.5 months before the attempt, then 2.5 years before the attempt, then you will be allowed to give the attempt.
Taha, so I was actually in a similar position. So if you take
Yeah.
gap between your two, like you resign from your articleship and join an industrial training after, and there's a gap in the middle, those number of days are added to your last working day under articleship. So for example, because I had a gap of around 15 days, those days got added after the 8th of March. So now my articleship would roughly end on the 26th of March. So that is how they do. You just need to take care that the last day when your articleship is ending should not be after the last date of registration for your CA final. Like you should come into the eligible criteria that you are. What Taha said, the 2.5 years criteria.
Other question is to Deven. He is saying, like, what other organizations have tech innovation department other than Credit Suisse? Like, if you know some of them, you could just guide him.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. So for tech innovation, I would suggest investment banking firms. The company, the multinational company basically is for let's say JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, the investment banks, or even let's say HDFC Bank kind of things, who extensively invest in the technology aspect. So you can find out these companies, and I would suggest you will not get this kind of vacancy in the typical finance department. It's whatever the profiles which I have seen till date are more of in the company, IT company, but having vacancy for CA trainees only in the finance department. So like 99% these are the cases. But yeah, for the you can definitely look out for these multinational companies, JP Morgan Chase or Morgan Stanley. This company extensively involves in invest in technology or automation kind of stuff. So yeah, you can look out these things. And secondly, I would suggest go for a few of the startups. Many of the startups are really extensively working into this domain, and really passionate about technology. So rather than even these big multinational companies, definitely you can look out for the startups. They will definitely offer you a very wide variety of exposure.
Okay. Other question is, are there any industrial vacancies currently in your companies? So I would request the audience to connect all of them with LinkedIn. If they have, they will share with you. It would be more better. Uh, Other question is to Harshita and Deven. Do your respective companies have asset management as a department for industrial trainees?
Yeah,
So
for yeah, please, Harshita.
sorry. Okay, so at Edelweiss we do have asset management department, and I think they hire industrial training.
Yeah, and for Credit Suisse, I can say, the core business of Credit Suisse is asset management only. Asset management, wealth management. So of course, it is. I think it is a kind of very very front end role, but I don't think they offer any position for CA trainees over there. So many CAs are employed over there, but I'm not aware of any of the CA because it comes into front end, and it's very difficult to find front end role in this type of industries.
Okay. Other question is like, do these companies require us to defer our attempt? This can be answered by Ashika and Dev, I guess.
So no, they did not ask me to defer my attempt. Like, in fact, when I was interviewed, they had, they have a criteria which attempt you will be appearing, and that's how they interview you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dev.
in my case also, they knows that this attempt I am appearing for CA final, and they don't tell me to defer my attempt. Even they support that you have to clear in first attempt and like that.
And Harshita and Deven, you can also answer if you want.
Yeah, so yeah, even they do not, like, they don't want me to defer my attempt.
Yeah,
No,
Deven.
there is no such. I don't think any company would put that condition. It's very rare that they put this condition to defer your attempt. But it's totally, they don't say it verbally, but it's more of like it depends upon your preparation. I mean, if it's beneficial for you, you can postpone your attempt. But I mean, it is totally your perspective. I don't think they have any problem with respect to whenever I give my final exams.
Okay. Now we'll be waiting for 2 more minutes. If there are some questions you could ask. For vacancies, you can connect with them over LinkedIn. They will share you if they have any. Yeah, so I guess we can now end the session. So thank you everyone. Thank you Deven. Thank you Ashika. Thank you Dev. And thank you Ashika for your valuable time. And it was really nice for all of you to come here and guide the students, like, because currently industrial training is one of the questions, like people are searching on LinkedIn and various portals, like where to go, where to offer. On YouTube, generally there are videos for big firms, like for example Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. But for other industries, I don't think like they have recorded sessions and all. So this was the idea behind why we took this session, and I guess it is helpful for all of them. There are some questions we have. Do articleship firms matter? Like, do these firms, like if you have done articleship from non-big four, so do this make any impact while getting selected as a industrial trainee? So I guess one big four person, one non-big four can answer. So Ashika, you and Deven, you both of you can answer.
Devin, you can go first.
Oh, sure. No, I mean, it totally depends from company to company, industry to industry. Many doing looking for my industrial training, I got to know about various many of the companies that they have strictly criteria. Not only big four, but even they want rankers. So only rankers can apply. So of course, some, I mean, they have to filter out the best for them. So their right of best is dependent on ranks, and okay, that's fine. We'll not dwell into that. But yeah, so many of the companies has the topmost management consulting firms has this criteria, but let's say that number is very less. About the exposure or small size firm, I would say I had did my articleship from recent small size firm. But what matters is not the size of the firm. What matters is about what kind of things you have learned over there, what kind of exposure you had over there. So yeah, I don't think much of the thing would matter about big four specifically, or good mid-sized firm, but I would say it does matter that you have a decent exposure.
Yeah, Aashika, you could go next.
Just to add to what Deven said, of course, having a big four on your CV is like an added advantage. But so the most important thing applying for an industrial training is your CV. If you get shortlisted on the basis of your CV, you are 80% in. So just a disclaimer that whenever you're preparing your CV, try to add as much as work experience you can, and try to add as much as curricular in your CV, so that they know that you can balance your work life properly. So yeah, I mean, I know a lot of industrial trainees in Godrej who are not from Big Fours. So yeah, your CV is what matters in the.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, and we will now end the session. So thank you.
Thank you so much,
Have a
Shah.
great
Thank you so
day.
much, all the
Thank
panelists.
you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.